What's up, everybody? All right, getting ready to get started here. Non-farm payrolls came out this morning. Market took a little dip. Chewing on some of the data yesterday. Right, the continued jobless claims came out with slight amount of uptick. Still, a couple of prints higher. This is Thursday's data. Initial jobless claims coming in. There's confusion in the data. This is where I want to talk about. Maybe it's a lag in the reporting. Maybe it's just noise. Who knows? But you have an uptick in initial jobless claims for 2 weeks. The continuing jobless claims also uptick for 2 weeks. Non-farm payrolls uptick for the month. So employment's going up here, and unemployment is going up there. Right? And then, of course, today's data, the overall unemployment rate ticked up just a little bit. So while non-farms are going up, the general overall unemployment rate is still high. It still came in above expectations. You guys can you hear me? My volume is low. Oh, hold on one second. That's weird. Okay, let's save that. Is that better? Check, check, check. Oh, it's not. It didn't save my mic game from yesterday. There we go. That's better. Save. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Repeating really quick out of mental market opens. We have non-farm payrolls shooting up, which is good. We have unemployment rate also shooting up, which is weird. Now, again, it could be the polling of the data. We had initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims yesterday also ticking up. So you have two different reports that are kind of showing maybe just a lag in the polling of when that data is taken. Half of them are pointing up, half of them are pointing down. What's going on here? And Wall Street's reaction initially to the unemployment rate, I think that's really the mover, not the non-farms. Non-farms looks good. The unemployment being in the high threes is what's caused the market to move lower. Now, again, we hit DD bands and dropped outside of it. NQ DD band break. I'm already trading small, if anything at all. So get our liquidity maps coming through. So how's markets digesting this data? How are we going to perceive it, right? We're going to be very careful trading today. Get those liquidity maps. Bottom of the zone. Resilience is there. That's the 3. That's fine. Yeah, taking a look on the read here. So we have a couple of hold on, trying to get this my chart set up here. So we're kind of stuck in between a couple of critical spots today. Just waiting for my let me load SPY really quick. Give me let me circle back in like a minute. Actually, okay, give me a second. Yeah, like your stuff is glitching. Okay. Is it flashing on and off? Let me delete it and add it back. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. They released a patch today. It's very, very odd. Let me see really quick. They released a new patch this morning to patch up some things. So I'm wondering if... That's so odd. Yeah, they changed nothing on the indicators. I wonder what's going on here. Well, it's good to see. I'm going to get a quick screenshot of it. This is what I'm going to do. We're going to roll back to an older version. This didn't show up in the test server when we looked at it. Okay. Everybody refresh your platform right now. Everybody refresh. Okay. There we go. All right, so everybody refresh. We just rolled back. You should be good. All right. Hold on a second. All right, just refresh. It should be good. I just rolled back the version. Okay. Spy, liquidity map. That's very odd. All right, back to where we are. Good deal. Refresh, I'll get it back. It's very odd. All right, so let's analyze today. That's quick. All right, yeah, everybody just hit refresh. Make sure y'all let everybody know in chat today too. That is really weird because we didn't change anything on the charting, nothing at all. There's something going on with I think it had to do with the idea that on the test server we couldn't have tested the open condition of the market when it's trying to draw this. It only draws it when the market's open. So anyways, all right, now we got everything up and running. Hoi. All right. Here's my drawing tool. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so market's gonna probably trade a little lower-ish today. There's really not a lot to say. Res less than 0 is this way. Off the box, res less than 0 resistance there. It is less than 0. We did have float failure as well, so market's going to be kind of particularly random from here. It's a no trade day if there's anything. VIX has pivots right here, or coming close to a VIX pivots, to be very careful. It came out of the danger zone, so things looking right now. Yeah. Let's get QQQ really quick. No action today. Yeah, just gonna let it fall today. Nothing looking great. So usually when you have these initial right out the door, drops a lower DD band, markets, you know, it sometimes does this, and then towards the end of the day, it's gonna randomly do something. So in all honesty, it's probably gonna push its way lower and choppier. Nasdaq has supported hedge pressure, which is one thing that could keep the market supporting. A little dangerous to trade this though. Resilience less than 0, rejecting half cap. So only like a boring no trade day today. To begin with. So on the print today, I think the unemployment numbers being as high as they were, even though, you know, just essentially that's probably what's scaring the market more than anything, the unemployment, not the non-farm. I think that, while that came in good and hot, I think the initial move broke through this DD band on futures that we look at. And what this band is an exploit of volatility in futures. There's a thing that CME Group sets margin requirements on. It's one of our best exploits. And if futures move too far too fast before the equities market opens, breaking these bands, the market's starting to be unstable and weird as it is. So I'm already, if I'm trading, and I'm not picking directional, I'm not trading for it to go up or down in big runs. I'm scalping if I'm doing anything at all, and scalping really small. This is a risk management trick that we have. The other thing is that looking at SPY itself when it opens, we're clearly opening with a sell-off mentality. The market has been pushing lower. However, we have this gap fill predictor that we created called resilience. It's an aggregate that looks at some of the stocks inside of their own redistribution zones, and it's looking pretty like much right at 0, kind of balanced, flip-flopping around above 0, below 0. And what it means is that number is below 0, then the S&P trades up to fill its gap. Yesterday's close, SPY would be at 424.5, give or take. But that number being below 0, it's a gap and go to the downside. And right now, it's fighting to stay below 0. So all things are pointing down. Unstable market from the first thing I said, DD bands breaking through hedge pressure, and resilience being negative, also being bad. So the market's response today is probably downside moves, and it's probably going to chop lower. There's not a lot of volatility in the mix, so it's not likely to crash out, but I think it's going to spend most of the morning pushing its way lower, and then if anything happens, running into expiration last couple hours of the day, we might get a surprise turnaround. But I don't think today is anything but a tiny scalps here and there, if anything at all. Not really a tradable day. It's distinguishably choppy and kind of bad. So it's probably gap and go is going to hold to the downside. I don't think S&P is going to break 424.5 today at all. Do you need live data for testing? Perhaps data pushed production by 1 day so you can test a small beta group of testers. We usually do that. We didn't change anything on the charts though. It's really odd. Oh no, Rez is trying to fight positive 0. I know it's like a stretch to want to do anything here on a float failure. You can't trust anything that you see. It's not strong enough to do anything. So if one were to make a trade, you have to make a guess, and then risk and reward's all it's going to be. This is really fighting below 0. The non-farm indicate the Fed is more likely to increase interest rates. I think that the idea that the Fed is going to raise rates is stability in the markets. If the markets are stable and healthy, Fed is more likely to raise rates. They don't want to push too hard and create a bigger problem. Recession. They don't want to create these effects by pushing too hard. So bad news is good news is where we've been for a couple of years. You know, as the stock market looks healthier and jobs market looks healthier and all that, the Fed is more likely to press harder and be more aggressive on rate hikes. If the market's looking bad and pulling back and destabilizing, Fed's less likely to do anything. They're going to have to kind of tread lightly to keep the market from collapsing because they don't want to create a high unemployment situation with inflation. That's a harder recession to recover from in stagflation than in just general market sell-off or bubble popping. Stagflation is going to be a bad deal. So the Fed can't induce a market crash that lays everyone off. So, but even so, the Fed's talking, it's like a quarter of a point or not a quarter of a point. That's going to be noise as it is. I don't think there's anything shocking the Fed's going to do no matter what. Yeah, so Nasdaq is starting to push a little higher. So let's go ahead and, right? This is one thing, right? You have that VIX. So obviously, you get that spontaneous volatility that comes out. We're going to analyze that really quick. The market's tight, volatility's up, tightening up again. That's looking pretty decent, and this is trying to fight. But the question is, even if we're to trade, I don't really have much to trade against. Like if I were to bet that resilience goes positive, I could fill the gap to here, but my upside would be limited. So basically, the question is the case to short from hedge pressure or just wait for hedge pressure break long to go long on. If that goes greater than 0, then I'll take a long on hedge pressure break. Like how QQQ is looking stable there. But it's going to be a tough trade. I know it's fighting to find something. Oh, actually, I think look at some of these other. All right, oil trending down, which is decent sign. All I'm doing right now, guys, is taking a look at resilience. I'm watching this number. Let's look at monthly map and see what SPY looks like on the monthly scale. It's starting to show signs of stability. I mean, a little bit. This is bull side strengthening, bear side weakening. So it is showing somewhat of a bottoming-ish process today. Let's click the wrong one. All right, you know what? I'm going to... I don't dislike what I see. All right, res is greater than 0, trying to press through hedge pressure. The volatility is still there. Try something real quick. It's trying to fight, but it's not getting there. Question is, do I want to take a quick short scalp? I usually don't short on that. I was just checking this real quick. Sorry. I usually don't short when irrational in a bullish market.
lower growth period. And in my opinion, and as the Darvas book says, stocks are slaves to earnings. And if earnings are slowing down, well, now we're seeing, bearish again and again and again every day until the market adjusts to this new slower growth period that I think we're going to go into for probably, 2024. So, but that's, I usually post an update on S&P 500 outlook, maybe about once every week or two, and it's an interesting view, but I take a big picture view to that.
No, I think it was a really good recap on that, and I appreciate people who care about the SPY or the S&P 500, whatever they think they're same price, but I appreciate people who share that information along with know if you like learning more about the stock market and you want to know more about just investing in general, everyone up here has been vetted as brilliant minds that you're going to want on your timeline, so please take a second, make sure everyone drops in a quick follow, and you will not regret it. Matt, real quick, I want to pass it over to you.
I'm not liking.
Something interesting in Rocket Street.
Yeah, resilience is not giving me fire today.
You want to just explain that real quick on what that could mean based on where SPY or futures?
No, I'm talking about DD ratio, or I'm not sorry, the DD bands, doomsday bands right now.
Okay.
Where the market is.
So one of the cool things about our indications here, so what we do at Rocket Scooter, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we created a suite of tools that is very different as far as analysis goes. It's not your traditional price action analysis. Most of our indications are all designed to be exploits of something mechanical in the market. Mechanical means repeatable or predictable. So ideally, margin requirements for one. Futures, if you understand a little bit about the futures industry, the margin requirements are like a set number that's how much money you as a trader put in to buy a futures contract. The number is actually meticulously calculated based on the expected volatility and risk of the futures market. CME has this massive reporting. People report their positions to them, and they calculate these numbers based on everyone's expected positions who can predict volatility. So what we did was we're explaining that idea, and that we know that futures can only deviate so far from equities when the equities market is closed without destabilizing the market. We've actually cracked that code and found the destabilization point. That's why we call it DD bands. It's like a ticking time bomb. If futures move too far pre-market, like off an event like we had today, there's already a destabilization. You can see it right now. If everyone loads up like a SPY chart or a NASDAQ chart or something, you can see right after the non-farms came out and the market kind of was stabilizing a little bit, and you had this like big V where it popped and dropped and then popped higher and then dropped lower really fast. That spontaneous volatility, that's the destabilization that happens just when you tap our DD bands. It's that good at what it does. It's literally, that's where we pivoted just now to pivot up on. It's a predictable high volume pivot. It is probably the highest volume pivot in futures this morning where we're actually tapping against it. And what it's showing is that there's just this massive amount of hedging right there that takes place because everybody's positions are what set the margin requirement. Therefore, everybody's stops or hedging on their positions is present at the same levels. We thought that idea would be cool. It turns out to be one of the most actionable pivots out there. And so the way we use it in risk management is if the market just moves beyond that level, it's kind of just unusual. And it's a predictor of unusual activity, unusual volatility, a choppy, crazy market, hard to predict. And my call this morning on my stream is I'm sitting out, I'm not making any trades. And the market's pretty much gone nowhere. I'm not picking short, not picking long, because the minute you tap that band and break through the other side, it's already telling you that there's unusual selling pressure against the hedging of the structure of the market. So all of our tools have that kind of cool same effect, and they're very easy to read. It's like AB. If you break that band, obviously I'm sitting out probably for the rest of the day. It's not really an easy day to trade, and I can avoid a choppy mess and gambling with a lot of money on the table. So DD bands are one of the better tools you have for pre-market, especially. It's my pre-market check. I like to see market stable inside of them. If you could think of it like futures and the equities that they track, so futures will track the index, which tracks the sum of the equities in the basket. Think of them like tethered to each other like a rubber band. SPY will trade on its own, up or down because of its own supply and demand. And futures will trade on their own because of their own supply and demand. But at the end of the day, both of them are kind of like honing in to track the sum of the stocks. And when the stock market isn't necessarily open, clearly that rubber band is going to stretch up or stretch down. If you move too far, that rubber band snaps. And then when the market does open, it's like chaos for stocks are chasing the index and index chasing the stocks, and just kind of becomes a little pandemonium. And that's kind of how we're seeing the day play out, right? So these are, it's actually predictable that the market can be unpredictable. And that's kind of one of the cool ways to have risk management indications in a platform like we do. You can predict, and if I have a red light on my screen that says the band broke, sit out for the day, I can predict that it's very unpredictable. And all technicals and all their indications tend to break down and not work so well in that kind of environment. So you take it light. If you do trade anything, I always trade something very small in this environment, and you can see the market's chopping around. I don't have a lot of risk on the table. So we have quantified risk management with Rocket Scooter. It's a whole different process, and it's a different layer to the market because it's not just technical indicators like most of y'all are used to using.
If I could tag onto that, because I know a lot of people in here might trade SPY. So that number right now is sitting around 421.21.
You hear my kitty cat? We're on space this morning. Yep, nothing today, y'all. Sit out day. I'm not touching it. Looks like we're going to be doing that again.
So right now we're getting close to that band again. And this is one of the cool tools that Rocket Scooter has, where I like to define it.
It's resistance today.
A risk management platform. It'll kind of give you an idea of when you should consider trades, when you should not consider trades, when to hit the gas, when to hit the brakes. That's why I like looking at it. And if you're interested, Ashton, who's one of the co-owners of Rocket Scooter, actually posted something in the nest up top, and you can actually see that on his screen where the DD band is, and you see that we broke below it in pre-market. We basically just tested it while the market's open here, so you can get that on your chart, get an idea of how reliable this information is. And as Matt explained, if that DD band breaks, then basically there's going to be margin calls. It's going to be very hard to get an idea of where the market will go, I should say, in a reliable sense. So at that point, if you do decide to trade, personally,
Do you guys like that though? How once the non-farm came out, this is how good our DD bands are, right? When the market comes out, look where we fell. I mean, literally fell right to there, and that was the pivot point. So I'm saying this is what lets you guys know that we know what we're doing here.
right now, SPY really has only moved about
You'll see that.
50 cents a buck, maybe on the day, if that. What are you looking at here? Are you looking at SPY? Are you looking at some individual names? How are you feeling the open so far?
I'm sorry, that's a me?
Ryan.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It says you're speaking.
Oh, is there someone else that's trying?
No, it's you. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good, you're good. So, I'm watching right now. I'm watching that 20 MA on the 3-minute. It's kind of acting as the 9 support level there, and the 50 MA is acting as
The question is that even though I know it's going to come down, the question is we don't know how far it goes, right? Because outside of DD band, all we have is red lines and yellow lines to play with or other gap fills.
it gave a very nice drop in the morning.
And then, so sitting where we are now, market's just steadily flat trading down. There's really nothing to take from this.
So right now I'm just playing it a little bit safer and just watching that one there. But until SPY gives me that move that I need, I'm not going to touch it. I'm waiting for that 10 a.m. Usually around 10 a.m. if we're consolidating right into the open, around 10 a.m. we get a move in either direction. And right now, based off of the wicking action that I'm seeing on the candles, I'm more inclined to think we're going to go downward. But I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm going to let the chart go. I'm going to let the chart lead me, and I'm going to, in charts we trust, is kind of the message I keep in the back of my head there. But again, with Biden speaking, Biden's thing is going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a victory lap. I don't think he's going to do too much Q&A. They're not going to really press him. I don't really know what's going to go on there or how much of an effect he's going to have on the markets over there. So I'm really curious to see how that goes. But if he has an effect, perfect. We'll play the effect there on the chart. We'll see it much quicker as he speaks. But right now, I'm waiting for that 4 minutes to swing by 10, 10:02, 10:05 to see if we get a reaction. We're getting a small reaction right now. But again, I'm let the chart go. It's Friday. Beautiful week.
I'm seeing if there's any other catalyst for today. Nothing today. The question is how far, how much lower, right? We can already see it's going lower. How low can we go?
You're right. You can use a PG-13 curse word. It's okay. So you cannot. We don't want to lose your ass on Friday. That's the thing.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what the rules are, man.
It's so good. It's so good, man. I appreciate the family friendliness.
I censor myself in real time, and I haven't done that in a long time. Like, we're trying to use different places. I don't know. I was gonna go with sure.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm the stasis police, Ryan, and I don't.
Wee.
I was gonna say, Ryan, I think you brought up a really solid point, and I think we don't talk about this enough. it's okay to sell. It's okay to not take a trade. I think a lot of newer traders.
There's that spontaneous volatility we talk about. How the tight market gets medium V, big V, tightening back up again. There's the spontaneous volatility right here from UVXY rule. Roll. You see that?
I think we've all been there to a sense. I think I said this in the last space where there's no worse feeling than.
You see how volatility is all over the place, and that's this roll right here. It's cool to see all of our rules kind of playing out. In all honesty, this is a pretty simple setup today. The market's going to drift low. It's hard to guess how low it's going to go. It could probably hit a yellow line or something and bounce off. The next step would be, you know, there could be a long pivot. Ideally, I want to see resilience. If resilience fights and pushes close to above zero or close to zero or above zero, I might be willing to take a stab at it to the long side to fill the gap. I mean, like 20, 30 points on this could be working.
To get into a trade right at 9:31 a.m. and they need to have their whole day traded, or they need to define a computer all day and trade all day.
Whoa, wait, this is going above zero. Oh, I was like, oh shit, that actually had me excited. That's a line that I drew. That does not count. I like that it's trying to hold here. That's actually not bad. Yeah.
So I'll give you guys a dose of my experience about this, right? Every time I've tried to force a trade, I have forced money out the window. I'm better off just setting it on fire. So just be very, very patient.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything at all.
Unless you're a wizard and you can get in and out of these candles within a few seconds, and zero, you're out of the game unless until your next check comes in and you load the account. But like, we want you in this game, and I don't want people to get detested or dejected by FOMO or losing money and quitting the stock market. Because every time I see that, that breaks my heart because it's a very powerful tool that can help people for a while. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And Brian, I wasn't following you yet, but I'm following you now. So this is what I'm talking about. These are the people that we kind of invite to these spaces. These are great people you want to be following. So take a second if you want some solid people that actually want to see success in your investing journey, and you want to actually learn and not just see someone post about like Lambos and how much better they are than you. And these are the kind of people you want to have on your timeline. So drop everyone a follow up here. That's great. Great synopsis there, Ryan. MDB, what's going on, man?
I just want to second what the prior speaker just said. Yeah, you know, for everything that we're doing, I made my first trade in 1995. The whole point of this game is don't lose money. Wait for your signal. Don't lose money.
So have this negative resilience number rejecting the low redistribution zone. So these are our, let me show you some of our cheat sheets. These are some of the things that we're looking at. So the cheat sheets are in the boot camp. You'll be able to use these. Redistribution zone on the S&P. I'm just looking at that. There's really nothing abnormal about this. When you're outside of the box right here, they're outside of this white box. The box is resistance. When resilience is less than zero, it's clearly less than zero. But fighting to be above zero, which I do like to see. It's making a run for it with the red candle. Should I take a small stab? It's not above zero. It's getting close though. Let's go for it. Just something small. Let's see if that pops above zero. That's all I want to see. I'm trying to get ahead of it. It is irrational. So I'm trying to get, I'm assuming it's not going to lead. So I'm going to do something really small. Looking for it to pop above zero. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then nothing's going to happen from that. Something small. I like the idea that it's, again, we had a float failure, so don't trust anything you see from here. But I am looking for this to try to interact above zero. Again, this will be an easy trade to get out on if I'm wrong. At minimum, popping the dare would be good. Supporting there would be good, and a run to there on a res break greater than 0. It's approaching 0 and trying to get there, which is good. That little pop with some red candles and a pop on that one kind of gave me an idea to maybe push on it. So it's not bad. It's 3 micros, nothing too big. We still have that volatility that's going to want me to trim my position up. So even if this does bump up, the minute we hit here, it's going to be volatility again. So the market's limited on its upside. That's one of the problems. It's going to be fighting volatility. Like 3 micros is nothing. We're talking like $100 here and there. It's not positive yet, but I do want to try to see if I can get in on it better. It's trying to push. Nasdaq is right on the edge too, and I think that in this environment, its market's going to fight to try to be bullish. It's definitely trying to fight there. Let's see. Let's go to the scanner and see which stocks. Pressure break, illiquidity pocket. Oh, it is pivoting down. Come on, let me get like 5 seconds. I mean 5 minutes, and then position hedge. Let's look at all actually. Let's load up all liquidity map setting. Let's go to half cap distance. Let's see which ones are on the edge here. Peloton, you. Nothing really big. Gold. Nothing. So what I'm chewing now is there's no rule that's telling me to long. I'm anticipating that the market's going to try to go long, or try to fight to be long. It's not looking good yet. The trade actually isn't looking super hot where I am. I'm looking for resilience as it's trying to make a push to get towards 0. There would be a good arbitrage play. It's just risk and reward. I'll lose 10 to try to make maybe 30. Now I'm going to be able to cost average in a little lower. Like I said, I'm just trading very small. My normal position size is going to stay really small. We're in like a float failure situation where the market's going to be unstable and random anyway, so that randomness might work in my favor. But again, uncertain, trading small, nothing too crazy or big. I do like that res is starting to push higher, and I'm trying to see which stocks are starting to move a little higher. But still in the negative spot, so it's not really showing good signs yet. Monthly map showed the market's stabilizing.
Julia, I know we talked about SPY at the open. I know you were hoping for a few things. Are you hoping they still come to fruition at this point? How are you feeling?
So I'm trying to get ahead of the indicators now. Anytime you're irrational, though, you're gonna have to understand and nobody's indications are gonna be like a leading indicator. So I'm trying to get ahead. I'm seeing SPY try to make a push, which I like, while we're ticking down. But it's not in the clear yet. There's some stock that's right on the edge. I'm trying to see which one it is in the scanner.
So I think that's actually, for me, it's a good risk-reward buy area between 4243 and 42.
I'm gonna see like what is on the edge here. Now, whatever is moving, it's unique to the S&P. So there's something that's moving the S&P that's not moving in Nasdaq. So we're not getting any big love from tech today.
I'm looking for that, and
That's for sure.
gold also to see if it holds.
I don't like it.
That can't give us some kind of clue.
So this is probably not gonna work.
And that is what I'm doing right now. RTY.
Yeah. Probably not a good idea to take a scalp on the long side.
But it's just chopping like everything else right now. So I'm thinking, I was wishing that we would dump into the Biden talk, but I'm thinking now it's more likely that we just chop.
Yeah, so I just put something small in there. Not really doing much.
Sure Yeah.
It's not
Meh.
big enough a range for anything like incredible to happen.
Exactly. You could get stopped up pretty quick.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll circle back to the saying of today's space, which is don't lose your ass on a Friday. And Jordan, you beat me to the punch because you put the tweet out. So
Not getting anything.
tweet on there, but that's
I'm listening to the background,
sick. So
a Twitter space that I'm on.
it's getting around now. I actually want to pass over to Matt because we typically do a lightning
AMD just broke down through.
really love doing where
Yeah, see, whenever you see, oh shit, look at that. That's not looking great.
how they would perform. But Matt, now that we've broken the DD band, is there a reason why we wouldn't do lightning round and why you should be considering how you manage your risk at this point in time?
Yeah, we can do a quick lightning round. That'd be fun.
Well, I was asking because the DD band looks like it might be breaking on ES.
Oh yeah, so as a rule of thumb, if you guys are just tuning into this, what he's saying is that on our indicator suite, we have an indication that allows us to know the market's unstable. So the index as a whole is not really looking great, and the general rule of thumb from here is trade small, if at all, as our saying. And so, you know, we do this thing called lightning round, which would be fun to do anyways, just to kind of call out some plays and see what we can look at. The market's still going to move, you know, the liquidity maps are going to have their integrity. It's just that the market is, you know, it's going to be volatile and a little choppier. But in general, I don't try to go out of my way to find aggressive plays in the middle of this kind of environment. This risk like our alerts are risk management based. When they flag, they're really good at what they do. I mean, I know the market's really unstable right now, so I'm not going to really look for much. But lightning round is cool because what we do is he throws 10 tickers at me randomly, and on the fly, I'll do a quick trade plan on it. I actually shared at the top of the space the link to the live stream on YouTube, so you can actually see on the screen why I do. So he's going to call it a ticker. I'm going to go in and make a quick trade plan. And then I want y'all to look at what I do for the 10 and then follow up at the end of the day and see how right I was. It's a fun trick, and I love doing it.
Yeah, okay, so we can still do it then.
Yeah.
I would just keep in mind, like you mentioned, and I want to stress this point that because that DD band did break, then it's, you know, if you like these setups, you should consider a smaller size, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we can't give financial trading advice. So the reason he's prepping you guys for this is because he's going to spit out some tickers, and I'm going to say it's a long setup, short setup, but I'm not saying that for anybody to go actually buy it. My rule is I'm sitting out. So this is hypothetically the best direction I could if you know told me that you were holding me hostage, said I had to pick a direction or else, and then that's okay. So this is with a grain of salt. None of this is going to be something I'm going to actually execute.
Of course.
Let's go.
Guys, if you want to drop any of those tickers into the comments here real quick, I've got a few here, but if you want to open the space at the bottom right hand speech bubble,
Let's go.
ticker name or two.
AMD just broke down. That's what it was. Okay.
Sorry, what'd you say, man?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking on my stream. We had AMD lost half gap, and we're just talking about that.
Cool. All right, so I'll fire up a few here, and if guys, you have any you want to drop in the comments, feel free. Matt, the first one I'm looking at here is going to be Roblox RBLX.
Okay. Roblox. We do one trade plan every 10 seconds. Okay, so Roblox is opening up, kind of not actionable. Looks just like the SPY. It was a gap down situation. Gap down situation, and it's got a 2875 hedge pressure support. I hear feedback. Adam, can you mute your mic? Thank you. There's basically essentially 2875 hedge pressure support on a bull long setup. From here, there's really nothing going on other than that. If we were to gap up and trade above the close price of yesterday, 29.80, it'd be a long signal from there. So it's like everything else. It's a long market that's just selling off in a bull market. So right now, there's no actionable pivot except for yesterday's close and hedge pressure 2875. So right now, it's kind of in no man's land. What's next?
All right, let's do
ABBV, okay. And again, I'm just loading up on Rocket Scooter. If you look on my screen, you'll see there's a little liquidity maps, like a little drawing that shows the general pressures, what the market's actively doing. So right now, ABBV is a 146.5 support on hedge pressure. It's what we call mean reverting. It's a trade that's going to probably not rally or sell off. It's going to kind of hug the middle, and actually right now it's hugging the middle. So if I were to do anything, I would long sit a 146.5 with a stop underneath and just let it ride to see where it goes.
this one actually looks like a decent setup. Well, could be. Starbucks, SBUX.
SBUX, okay. Starbucks is sitting in a really strange spot. 92 is hedge pressure support, and Starbucks is kind of looking like the rest of the index as well. Market gap down, things popped up, but it's trading down, unlike the last one we just looked at. So Starbucks is a really solid pivot at 92. That's hedge pressure. If you look at the volume bar underneath that on a 1 minute candle, is the highest volume bar that you see on Starbucks. That is the max amount of delta hedging market makers in that from sold options. And that's where that volume spike comes up. We predict unusual volume and hedge pressure. So that is a strong pivot, whether you're short or long. That's the place that's going to be where the pivot takes place on. Now, right now, all signs are pointing up as Starbucks is kind of sitting slightly above it, like right on it, but slightly above it. If I were to take a guess, I would pick a trade with a tight stop and then go one way or the other and just kind of hold it and let it ride. So I think the long side is more appropriate on this one as well. It's just right there on the edge, though. And this is the place, and it's actually ticking up as I say that. Okay, next.
Right on. Let's pick one of the big boys, Microsoft.
Microsoft. Interesting that most of these stocks, none of them are coming up with really strong bear liquidity maps. Microsoft is the same thing as the first couple we did. It's bull long up, all signs pointing up, but only actionable if we break through the close on the top side. So 319.4 is a nice signal for the long for a breakout on the gap fill, or a 313.75 support on hedge pressure is also long. It's not actionable anywhere in between there. It's the same as the rest of the market. It's just drifting lower in bull territory. So I only take actionable pivots. Other than that, I sit out. So again, like everything else, not pointing down, but could drift down to those supports.
All right, this one also looks like an interesting setup. Let's go to Warren Buffett's favorite obesity-causing drink, Coca-Cola, KO.
All right. Coca-Cola, bear long up, bear territory. 51.5 hedge pressure support. That's kind of just like everything else today. Things are trading above hedge pressure and falling to hedge pressure support. There's that little spike up that we've had off of it, so that's just like everything else. There's limited upside to there, as most other stocks are in the same boat. We gap down because of the non-farm, and then of course, when you gap down and trade down and hit hedge pressure, I trade it right back to open. So there's maybe a scalp opportunity on this one to the long side again. If anything at all, but other than that, 51.5 to about 52 is about the play zone for that one today.
All right, and last one, let's do SoFi, showing a little strength today.
That's we already done 10? No way. All right. Oh, SoFi. Okay, let's go. Now, this is the example of the one that did do the breakout on the close. So SoFi, just like the other ones we talked about, we always talk about if you gap down and you have those bull long setups, there's two pivots. You either, if it falls to hedge pressure, 7.5, I long, or if it hits the close price of the previous day, I long the breakout. This is a long the breakout case. If 765, we tapped it and moved through it, I would have taken the long up there. Now it's already at 775. And I don't trade penny stocks, but this is a testament of the ones I said earlier. If it breaks the close price after a gap down, you fill the gap and go. Fill the gap and go is what we call a trade. You'll see that those are typically really strong runners. So it's a really tight play on this one, and it's picking up some momentum. So, like everything else, I haven't said short one time today. Interesting. The stocks are looking pretty solid.
Yeah, actually, Matt, since I have you, one more question here. We're seeing that we did get a little bit of a DD band break. We're heading back up, and now you're seeing resilience kind of take up here. I know, like Ashman alluded to, we got Biden talking in a little bit, but is there any certain way that you'd potentially read this as some sort of indicator going into the rest of the day?
I think that going to the rest of the day, it's just noise. Like I said, anything that's in this particular environment is particularly random. I think that you're just a little bit reverting to mean. If anybody was short in that non-farm, you're just getting a little profit taking. And I think the market's, with the stocks all like going through the lightning round, actually surprising me that most of the stocks, they all came in bullish-ish. None of them came in with really strong short signals. They were just choppy with support underneath them. Nasdaq resilience going positive means the Nasdaq is filling its gap and going. So the Nasdaq is going to move, which means it'll drag big tech with it, which I like to see. And the S&P hasn't really been doing much. And if tech starts moving, I think that'll drag everything else will go up. So we'll see. I think leading in the Biden talking, I don't know if that's ever produced a catalyst in the history of the administration. It's not like the former president where every 5 minutes you're glued to his Twitter feed, where he would snap his fingers and like Thanos, half your portfolio would disappear overnight. It's literally what would happen back then. I mean, Biden's more benign as far as, and he's not even the one running the Twitter, but their presentation is not aggressive in social media. So I never expect much of a catalyst when their administration is talking. I don't think there's much they can really say that really, if you remember in the Trump presidency, we had like a year-long push and pull trade war with China, and like it was like market fly up, market fly down kind of thing. There's not really much hot going on that's going to shadow over what's going on with the Fed and other problems in the market and economy that Biden could say something to surprise anybody, right? It's going to be very kind of like nothing burger, as Ashton likes to say, non-event, if I were to guess.
Yeah, I have a feeling the way that, I mean, how we're sitting right now, how we've opened, the action on the day, it looks like Friday might just be
Again, resilience is not going in my favor, so I don't like what I see.
I mean, unless you're selling options, you might want
If you guys like the lightning round, everything came out bullish. I love when he throws them at me like that.
lightning round, you like the idea of being able to throw together a trade plan literally in seconds. You can give Rock Splitter a try using our spectacular deal, which I posted at the top of the space here. Click that link and get signed up. $20, $19.99, your first month. That deal's only good until next Friday, so if you want to hop in, give it a shot, sign up right now, and click that link.
$19.99. That sounds great and spectacular. That's such a cute name. Who came up with that? Was that you, Ashton?
Almost like we have a great marketing department.
I mean, you know, it seemed kind of obvious at the time, so we just run with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that basically is a pretty, we're doing that, obviously when people to check out our platform and our tools. We have a large trading platform. Our tools are inside of it, and we're actually opening up a marketplace for other vendors and other creators to create tools inside of our platform. We kind of want to be the edgy next level platform that doesn't just have your traditional stuff. There's a lot of new tools out there that people are creating with the advent of newer data feeds in the modern market that may not have a home or a place to put their tools in, right? You come up with a great idea, an algorithm or something. We're gonna house a marketplace of higher end, more sophisticated tools. Like we're the first set of tools in it. So as the months go by, you're gonna see other people hosting stuff in Rock Scooter as well. So we'll have a whole bunch of suites of stuff you can take a look at and have. We hopefully, being risk management focused is the whole goal. In our kind of tool suites, you can have alerts, scanner settings, trading rules. Like you can program trading rules into it, and the trading rules can be something that you don't forget. Imagine you're in the middle of a trade and you have like 10 rules you typically follow. Do you want to go shuffling through your notes to try to remember all of them at once, or do you want the platform to slap you in the face when you're breaking the rule? Like that's where we're going with our development, to have guided risk management based on rule sets you can program. It's a new idea, something every trader has always wanted. You get that deer in the headlight moment, right, where you freeze up because you don't know what you're doing. And you're in a bad trade and you forget everything you know. And we're trying to come up with solutions to beat those problems that most traders will face in action of trading. So ours now it's a $19.99 a month. You guys can check it out for the first month just to come see what it is and see what it is we do, and actually check out our indicators as part of that package. So all the stuff we talk about, liquidity map, the lightning round that you saw me do, making those quick trade plans, we teach how to do that. So we want y'all to come check it out. Appreciate y'all.
And realistically, it's less than $1 a day, so it's not that bad. So yeah, check that out. And before we got about like 9 minutes here before we wrap up, so just want to go around the horn.
See, it's not doing anything, and I'm not getting resilience. I probably should just take out.
Consensus here that we're not expecting too much action for the rest of the day. So right now,
I hate it. You don't like it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't like.
interesting week in terms of I would call it non-reaction. Other people might argue, but I don't think we got a lot of movement here.
Look at IONQ.
But as a whole, I think we should kind of take a moment, since we're not expecting too much here for today, at least I'm not, and kind of let's look forward into
For
next week.
GTI.
So, Wolf, let me push to you for a second, because obviously you speak to all these other people in all these other spaces. What's the sentiment feeling like out there on the market right now, and what do you think, based on sentiment alone, what are we looking like into next week?
They've all had that same look. Like there's a lot of stocks that are trading up in bull territory, like you see right here.
All right, Gav's probably enjoying a nice.
These kind of setups are always I long the breakout or I long hedge pressure, and I don't do anything in between. This is the chop zone. It's hard to say what can be done here. So the chop zone I tend to just avoid.
Based on what you've heard on Spaces, what do you think the sentiment is looking forward into next week for the market?
RGTI, there's no liquidity map. If there's no options for this, we'll not be able to calculate it. If that's what you said, RGTI. Jay Morales, typically your penny stocks won't have options. These are calculated from options, by the way. There's not going to be any data for something like that.
Right here on this 200 SMA as well. I love, using
kind of get a look out. But I know a lot of these
I know I closed a little early, but I'm not getting the signal I want, so.
So I think, as long as we can get a close up on it, you see a little bit of that reprieve bounce this coming week. But I would say people are getting a little scared. One of the strongholds of the market was oil for a while, and it's having a little bit of a green day today. But Oxy and SOM and others just absolutely falling off the cliff. Continue to see things like solar got mentioned, that's been falling. Gold getting a little bit of a bounce today as well, but that's been falling, right? I think people need to see these things actually start to turn around. They've all kind of been safe havens at points, but there doesn't seem to be just a great safe haven. I think as long as people
Yeah, so if they're, well, just for that particular calculation, it needs options to fuel the liquidity maps. So all these are calculated from the options landscape. Big drop coming. Yeah, I just don't.
most of it just works to the downside. To be quite
Brace
honest,
yourself.
I think that
Yeah, I tried to take a long stab and it just, I took a small micro edit. I don't like it. Walk away.
banks, financials continue to fall. My
All right, guys, if you are first, make sure you like the stream, follow the stream, subscribe to the stream. Check it out. Check us out. Come to the Discord. We have a spooktacular for people who've never been a member before. You try Rocks here for 1 month. Adam Nashon just announced it, $19.99 for just 1 month. That's it, and then you get full price after that. Play with it for a month. This is how you sign up for it. If you'd like to check us out, we'd love to see some new faces here. Check out our Pro package, which is essentially everything you see here minus futures. Get to you real quick. Use this link right here below, everybody. Take a look. Just click that one. I think that's the one to sign up for. And here we go. Now I get the move I wanted to, and I scared myself out of the damn trade. It's trying to get there. This is what I was wanting to see happen. Look at that. I got out 2 seconds too early. That's okay. I'm just trading $100. Up $100 down. Not a big deal. Yep. So actually looking pretty decent here. Look at that. My intuition was right, but my confidence wasn't as high as I wanted it to be, so I just bailed. That would have been the trade I would have taken and closed out had I got it. Yeah, it's all the signs that we get that are just not things lining up. We know that it's not a rally day. We know it's a choppy day. I was trying to trade some scalp up the hedge pressure, scalp up the half gap, and maybe scalp to fill the gap. If we got lucky there, this is what I was looking to see. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the day, but I'm probably not getting anything. So this morning, that was a long I was looking to take, and I would have closed had I been in it. So I bailed a little early, but that is the trade. That would be it for the day. I'm gonna do anything else.
Yeah, for next week, just talk about next week only here. I'm looking for a little reprieve on the bullish side of things. So bullish step in, looking to buy the dip. Bears just lean a little bit for this week. A little bit different conversation if we're looking past next week. Plus, the VIX here looks a little toppy. So if the VIX can start to retreat just a little bit, that'd be good for the bulls. So I'm looking for a little bit of a bullish move. I'm not looking for a rip your face off rally, but maybe a little upside drifting action.
All right, everybody. We're gonna call it a day for this morning. What stocks are holding the S&P down? Nothing was holding it down, just nothing was moving it up. And we saw tech starting to move, which gave the S&P the bump. This thing I was talking about earlier today. S&P was pulling back while Nasdaq was holding flat. So we saw that tech was starting to finally move. That's why I had some confidence to try to maybe take a long, because I was seeing that.
Story into next week. It looks like,
I was hoping the tech would get us going forward.
again, not a strong directional trade, at least would be my read on the information as well. Evan, any thoughts moving into next week?
Yeah, CPI was very majority of next week, given that it's starting Friday, Thursday. Are they going to give us the direction of this market? I know we're a lot of people are focused on right now, and that's always focused on earnings. I think that will end up giving us the direction for a move or two. I do want to caution people, bank earnings don't necessarily
This is the trade I wanted to see. Even though I saw it, I didn't get it, which is okay. We're gonna call it. Yeah, I only lost like, I don't know, less than $100. Wasn't a lot. I was just playing with the $100 on, $100 off, something small. That's how I do it. All right, we love you guys. Make sure you check out that spooktacular setup. It's a cool little thing that we're doing just for Halloween. It's gonna be a one-time thing for you to check out Rock Scooter for the first time. You guys can come in and check out the signals. Looks like, oh man, look, that market's moving pretty good. But you know, irrational, crazy day. We have all of our signals giving us confidence, helping me see what I like and what I don't like, and trading accordingly. You can check out our platform and get a very substantial discount. Just see it for 1 month, see what it's like, show all the indications that we have, and actually go through our trader bootcamp. You'll learn everything in regards to trading, the way that we teach, how to do the lightning round, how to come through and make trade plans super quick, the way that I talk about it, how to just see the market without being confused by a lot of over-the-top indicators and lagging indicators and price action stuff. You can actually just draw liquidity maps, kind of get a feel for it, set risk and reward, and we teach how to be quick and how to be good at that. So our boot camp, you can go through the whole program in that month. So check us out and click that spectacular link. We'd love to see you. Make sure you subscribe to the stream. We're here live every single morning. We'll be here again tomorrow.